One day I was going through my pictures and I found that I've got so much photographs dating back from when the journey first started. And I said, wouldn't it be good if I did a journal, a journal of, and I just left it at that. But then I was on the phone with, I can't remember, one of the charities or something, and I found out that every time I get on the phone and speak to someone, I find that the first thing they ask me is, so how did it all begin? So I said to myself, wouldn't it be good if I could put it in a book? So if anybody wants to know about the story, anybody wants to know about the journey, they can say.
Make a film called Black Can Swim. Soundtrack in the New Jack Swing. Cast the lead in a floating ring. Is it a cultural or physical thing? Make a film called Black Can Swim. Soundtrack in the New Jack Swing. Cast the lead in a floating ring. Is it a cultural or physical thing?
Absolutely amazing. It was absolutely a good event. I like the way that the young people are involved, and I like the fact that he's showing insight to obviously breaking limitations for black people when it comes to swimming and stuff like that. So yeah, great event, lovely networking, met some amazing people. Food was amazing, lovely ambience.
I'm really proud of Ed. I think he's done amazing things on kind of his own mission with the book Blacks Can't Swim, but then on in the wider scheme of things with the Black Swimming Association with Danielle and Seren and Alice. I think it's incredible that he's wanting to encourage more black and ethnic minorities to swim, to participate, and to reduce that drowning, that sad drowning figure as well.
So for me, Ed is a very inspiring person. It was an absolute honour for us to both be here at the book launch. This is such an important topic around raising awareness around swimming, especially for people from minority communities, because that provision or that option just isn't there. The access to services such as this isn't always made readily available. And like Ed was saying, there's so many excuses why you can't do it. Your hair's going to get wet, you don't want to do this, you don't want to do that. And actually, for my son, my wife couldn't swim, and because she couldn't swim and she had a real phobia about children going near water, we taught him to swim as a baby. He did underwater swimming. He's got his actually diving certificate for diving as well.
Another thing we're working to do is to highlight the fact that there is no visibility for opportunities in aquatics for our young people, to be lifeguards, to be swimming teachers, actually to be HR managers for Speedo, to be content creators for the Royal Life Saving Society UK, to be all that they don't see right now. And so we're pushing for them to have these opportunities. So the work that Ed has done with the book and the films has been really a catalyst and a forerunner for the Black Swimming Association, of which he's a co-founder as well. In 3 years, the Black Swimming Association was 3 on the 2nd of March. We have done more than a lot of governing bodies and aquatic brands have done for our community. We've pushed on the agenda of advocacy, representation. We've pushed on the agenda of tackling inequalities, leveling up. We've done some groundbreaking research and still are doing research, education and support, not just for our communities, but also for the sector. Where do I see us in the next couple of years? I see that representation that we need, but it's all not been smooth sailing. Everything that we've done, we've had to do with a lot of collaboration with the sector and with our communities. There's so much more to be done, especially for children and young people. There was a question that came out of the audience today. What is the message to the third generation of immigrants, as it were? And we're saying there shouldn't really be a first, second, or third generation, because we know culturally that it takes a village to effect change. It takes a village to raise a child. And so as the BSA, we're calling on our village, we're calling on our community.
The evening's been absolutely phenomenal. I'm really proud of its success. And what really stood out for me today is Danielle, how she spoke about the urgency there is to get that message out there. And it's really quite something that I wasn't aware of to that degree.
I do think that probably intersectionality is really important in this discussion, because I look at my nephews, for example, Both of them went to a primary school with a swimming pool at the school. So it was really interesting to me hearing Ed talk about the issues with kids going to leisure centres and the time restrictions and things like that. I think that's a big part of it. So I really do think there's an intersectionality when it comes to, like you talked about, you know, being on an island where water is ever present compared to being in the middle of London where it's not so much of a kind of a conscious thing for you. To also, like, you know, what are the priorities if you are going to I remember going to a leisure centre, and what he said really resonated with me. You don't have a lot of time. So even where those provisions are made, actually, if you're not then also going swimming with your parents, because if maybe they didn't swim, then actually there isn't really an opportunity to learn.
When man's low, man meditate, elevate, soon gon' blow, soon detonate. Man don't hesitate, not me, never mate. Got corn, got hella spray. In this fight, I'm heavyweight.
I think it's really important because for me, I wasn't able to kind of swim. There was a lot of issues, like especially in South London when it came to swimming. So I think some of the youngsters that inspire other youngsters to swim, I think it's so important because I don't think some of these kids realise that, you know, things can be achieved in a certain way. And if you have other kids inspiring you to swim, I think it will just inspire them to swim as well as outside of school. You know, maybe say to their parents, you know what, like, mum and dad, I want to actually swim. I want to give it a go. And then you create Olympians. Then you create other people that will inspire other black people to kind of want to do the same thing. So I think it's an amazing thing, especially a subject that's not really talked about that much.
So, yeah, he's young. Speak to him.
So as a young person, what would you say to other people about what's so more enjoyable about swimming and maybe getting in there as early as possible?
I think so, if you know how to swim, then it makes it fun automatically. But it's essentially you have to, because otherwise you risk your life going in the water every single time.
I feel like it's made them a lot more confident, especially in regards to like what they want to do and stuff. Not even just swimming, but other aspects of their life and obviously building their future. I feel like it's given them more like a stepping stone and almost created like a trend that people can follow as well, even through their siblings or friends as well. So yeah.
I think what would help is more people raising awareness and more people talking about it. It is a very important topic that I feel like more people need to learn about, and through social media, people like myself who are role models can give that to the public, and people who can't be here today, people who haven't seen it yet, we can spread the word and get them involved.
More events like this. I mean, it inspires young kids, and I think we should do more of this. Yeah, I mean, everyone likes football, but there's other things in the world than other sports. I think we should do swimming. It helps us in our world too. Yeah.
Well, I found it really inspiring because of my dad and all the work he's put into it. And I think people should swim because at least now they would know what to do in a situation like that. So it's very good that they're trying to teach them how to swim. Let's prove to the world that the ain't no fake. Let's change the narrative. Let's call for some clarity. Shut down this.
I was very, very lucky. I came from an environment many, many years ago, with 50 years of age. So when I was younger, I was in a place called Essex in London, which was predominantly a white area, and all my friends swam. So I just swam because they swam, you know, because that's how we'd hang out on a Saturday afternoon. We'd go to the local swimming bars. But then as when areas got built up and they were more predominantly from Afro-Caribbean or African areas, together, you know, the swimming seemed to die a death. And that's some of the reasons that Ed has been showing and talking about.
For instance, my parents come from an island where there's loads of water, so they swam. I think for me personally, my hair plays a factor for sure. But I think that seeing visible representation might also play a part. I think it's probably quite a complex act, so I don't think it's any one thing. But I think it's important to take note of this because a lot of our parents are from either Africa or the Caribbean where there's water, where they swam. So there's been some kind of disconnect with the, you know, British black people and the swimming, so yeah.
You know, the first thing which you really appreciate is that we never grew up having opportunities for swimming, but we have opportunities for athletics, football, and all the likes. So what Eddie has introduced is that, for example, when you see Olympics, when it comes to swimming, there are no black people there. You understand? But when it's 100 meters, all the 10 people could be black people. So what Eddie has done, it's something which was hidden, that there are not much black people swimming. But with what Eddie has done now, you find out that it's not our age. Was Eddie said he started swimming at 53 or so, and then we had another one saying he started swimming at 21. But the children from at school, that's where the talent is. And those children have got the talent to make it. And with what Eddie has done, watch this space. We have the first black 100 meters champion.
I had a comment from a friend of mine who I met in Brazil last week, who said she really didn't like the title, Blacks Can't Swim. It was challenging. And I said, well, the reason why that is the way it is to challenge the perception that blacks can't swim. And it's so important that we take that message forward, not from a blacks-white perspective, but just from a perspective of, if you can't swim, you can't save your life. And that's the key message. And I know that Ed would be so proud if it was proven that he'd saved a life. But I'm absolutely convinced that he's saved many lives, from not today, but in days to come.
I'm Angel Lou from the RWK Talk Show, and that's on Empire Radio. And Ed came onto my radio show, and we spoke about what he's trying to do, which I think is phenomenal, getting us to swim, because we need to learn how to swim if we don't know how to swim. So it's a good thing. I've purchased the book, and I'm going to help him on this campaign to get us all swimming, because that's what we need to do. It's for our own safety, and we can help others, and it's something that we need to do. Smoky boy, baby.
Smoky boy, baby. It's cultural barrier. Coming from an Indian background, I know that swimming isn't something that is part of our upbringing. So it's definitely culture, and I think as generations go on, that's going to slowly change.
I would like to hope so, because I'm a strong believer of there's no such thing as you can't. Break your limitations, come out of your comfort zone. I used to have fear of swimming myself, and it took a lot of encouragement from others, but once I broke that barrier, anything was possible from that point.
So today is a celebration of everything that's happened within the last 5 years, the legacy, the creation of the film documentaries, the co-founder of the Black Swimming Association, and the journey of that everyone that's in this room has been on with me. When I made the first film, the second film, the third film, it wasn't all just about me. It was about everybody part of this journey. And today, seeing everyone here, everyone from the community, from the charities that support us. And at the end of the day, I'll always say that what we're doing is not a 9-to-5 job. We live it. We live it day in, day out. We don't go to bed. We don't clock off and go home. It's something that we live. And today's Saturday. People could be doing other things, but they're here, and that touches me. So I'm not saying that this is the end. We're nowhere near the end. This is just the beginning. We will change that narrative. Thank you for everyone that supported us, supported me, supported Blacks Can't Swim, supported the Black Swimming Association, and together we will change that narrative.
So thank you for doing that, and congratulations on your book, your films.